Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Apologies for the voice. I just got through 2 straight days at Red Rocks watching Mumford and Sons, my favorite band. But anyways, slightly different video for everyone this week because I hiked Pikes Peak a couple weeks ago with a new friend and I didn't feel comfortable filming it. And I have been traveling, so I haven't been hiking. But that's okay because today we are going to go over everything that I carry in my day pack. I will preference this. I do not carry the 10 essentials on me. That is neither right nor wrong. It is what I am comfortable carrying, feel well enough equipped with, and that I trust myself that I can use what is in my backpack to make sure that I am safe. I also carry a special safety device that is fairly common at this point, and I know that if I have to use it, it will still take time for search and rescue to come find me. But without further ado, let's go through my backpack. So starting off, I carry the Cotopaxi Inca 26. It's my new day pack. I bought it honestly because I really like the brand Cotopaxi, and I don't even know if this is picking up properly. Hopefully it is. I really liked the colors and that they're super unique, and I got a lot of compliments on it. But I will admit, it's a little bit too big of a day pack for me. I used to use a Talon 22. It's an Osprey bag, and I'm thinking of going back to it because I still have it and it's like slightly smaller. But anyways, on the outside of my pack right now, usually what I have on my hip and what I was alluding to earlier is my handy dandy Garmin InReach Explorer Plus. They do not make this model anymore, and I understand that it's very heavy and I can switch to the mini, but I paid good money for this and I really like having the maps available on the screen if my phone were to die. The other thing I carry just for safety is a pocket knife. This is usually readily available and I don't know, easy to reach for whatever I may need. I then have right now strapped to my pack my Lucky trekking poles. Could not tell you what model this is. I needed new trekking poles after the PCT, and I got these ones because Lucky is kind of, I don't know, they've been in the game a long time. I've heard good things about their poles. I wish I had thought about it a little bit more though, because the cork is treated on these poles, so they're waterproof, and my hands sweat a lot, and it's kind of uncomfortable, but they're brand new poles, so I'm not gonna get rid of them. As always, I just carry a little bit of Luco tape and duct tape on my poles just to have handy. I also, on the outside of my pack right now, I have just a 1 liter Life water bottle. I usually mix electrolytes in this because it's really important to stay hydrated, especially at higher altitudes, which I'm hiking more often now as I try and go for all of the 14ers in Colorado. So I usually carry this, and then I'm not going to dig it out, but you can see the hose. I have just a 2 liter Camelback reservoir, bladder, whatever you want to call it, that I also carry. I don't love bladders because they tend to fail quite frequently. Mine hasn't, knock on wood, so far. I haven't had any issues with it, but with this pack setup, I can't carry more than 1 smart water bottle because I need a pocket for my phone and my camera, and 2 bottles don't fit in 1 pocket. It's a whole thing that there's a method to the madness, if you will. Also on the outside of my pack, I carry cooler cloth. The girls that know, they know. I also try and keep my gloves handy. These are not the best gloves. They're the ones I had on the PCT. There's a hole in them. Every time I use them, my hands are cold anyways. And I ran out, but I usually will carry hand warmers, like supplemental hand warmers, just in case. Also on the outside of my pack, just as an additional layer, I try and keep a pair of leggings handy. We are in the summertime right now, so I have switched to more of like a summer wardrobe when hiking, which is typically shorts, and I'll get into it more. I did start a hike recently in shorts and very quickly had to put the leggings on as I got to higher elevations. So that's everything that's kind of on the outside of this pack. There is a top small pocket that I keep like things that I need to easily grab, and I'm pretty sure everything's in there. We'll see. I don't know. It's been a couple weeks since I've looked at this pack, but I need to put it away. I always keep face sunblock somewhere close. Showing my age on the internet, but on the PCT, I got what looks like a sunspot on the corner of my cheek because I wasn't very good about putting sunblock on. And once again, because of higher elevations, it is so important to keep sunblock on you. My upper body is typically covered. I have been hiking in a sun shirt most often. My legs definitely need to be better about putting sunblock on. But anyways, headlamp, you just never know. Honestly, you just never know. I've done a few alpine starts, which I know I owe some people a top 5 scariest moments on trail. Recently had one, but it became scary after I completed the trail, and that is a story for another day. But alpine starts and just a general fear of getting stuck out there and having no light source. I also carry a pen because I was in a situation in Washington State recently where I did not have a pen. I was traveling, didn't have a pen in my bag, needed to fill out a campsite thing, and there was no pencil, no pen. There was no one around, so keeping a pen on me as always, and just an emergency granola bar. You never know. Probably left over from something. I think that is everything from that pocket. What I really like is this pocket has a clip or little thing here that I hook my keys into so I won't lose them. But that is that on the small pocket. So moving into the main compartment of my backpack, I have my trusty dusty, very well used and worn in food bag, which I will admit doesn't have any food in it. I don't know, been snacking. But some of the things that I keep in here when hiking is, I don't carry the 10 essentials, but I do carry my spork. It is an emotional support spork at this point. No, in all seriousness, I bring this because my hands get dirty, and if I'm eating chips or goldfish, I honestly just like to scoop them out of my bag so that my fingers don't get all gross. I also usually carry an extra element just in case I'm feeling really dehydrated and the liter of electrolytes that I'm drinking isn't enough, and I have something to pour into my reservoir, which will make it nasty. I understand that, but hydration's key. The other thing that I keep in there, just because this is a more waterproof bag, is a battery pack. This one needs to be charged because I've been using it, but this one in particular I really like. I don't know what brand it is. It is that one. I don't know. My dad randomly bought it for me for Christmas one year, and it holds enough for a couple charges, but the best part about it is all of the cords that you need are right there, including, just randomly a USB if you need to, I don't know, plug this into your computer. Who knows? But it has whatever the iPhone charger is, this one, and then the new iPhone charger, which is that one, and then Android and basically everything else. So this is very great to have. And then recently, I have not been hydrating properly, and I've been going a little bit too hard in the hiking department. So I've gotten a couple headaches while on trail, whether it's altitude sickness or not. I don't think so, but knowing the signs and symptoms of altitude sickness is very, 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 and I stress very important if you are going to be hiking at high altitudes. Even 14ers aside, you can start feeling symptoms of altitude sickness, I think as low as 6,000 feet, maybe 7,000 feet. So just knowing the signs and symptoms of it are really important. I will link something down below. This video is not to educate everyone on on altitude sickness, but headaches suck. And when you've still got 7 miles back to your car, having these available are a huge help. So I carry some Excedrin just to help with that. I also have in here my Half Buff. I usually wear this, but it's just in my pack right now. So I have that. Have my Enlightened Equipment puffy that I bought off my friend, and I really like it. It has been very warm and even really good in windy conditions. And then finally in this pack, I just carry my beanie because you never know. You never know when it will get too cold. I haven't used it. Honestly, it's in here because I forgot it was in here, but it's good to have. So that's basically everything I carry. For the first, I think 14 hours, I carried a wind shell and never used it. And then I was on Belford and Oxford, and it was so incredibly windy, and I really wish I had one. So I go back and forth on whether I'm going to incorporate that or not. My rain jacket is very heavy, and I don't love it. And this pack, even though it is bigger and I want to downsize, is very full when I have all of like my water bladder full and all of my snacks and everything in it. So I don't really have the room for it without going up in size. So I want to see if I can maybe get like an insulated wind jacket, wind shell. So like a 2-in-1. So we'll see there. But like I said, that's all from my pack. But quickly, what I wear hiking doesn't really change until recently. I typically would just wear biker shorts because they're the most comfortable for me. Leggings if it's cold, or a pair of Outdoor Research hiking pants that I have. But I always wear a hat, usually just a 5-panel. I've been loving my Cotopaxi one, which is really funny. Between my Cotopaxi pack and my hat, I look like a rainbow. I don't know. But I alternate. I have so many hats that I just wear whatever I'm feeling that day. A recent substitution, which I haven't actually brought out on a trail with me, but I am really excited to try out. I've been wearing my Fayette Chill microgrid hoodie. Is something that I got for the PCT because I wasn't able to secure a Melly beforehand. But I recently have completed most of my Colorado initiation, I think, and I am the proud owner of, I think this is last season's color, of my first Melly. A couple of my friends were out in Leadville because a couple other friends were running the Leadville 50, so they stopped by Melly and checked out their sale rack or whatever rack. I still paid full price for this. And there was a color that I liked, and they snagged it for me. So I have my first Melly. So this will be coming out with me as kind of like my mid layer, or like what I start in the mornings if it's cold, which I'm really excited about. And then finally, my tried and true, which I'll show my trail runners, which I switched out. The insoles are switched out because I'm wearing my other ones, the Cursed Hokas. If you know, you know. Anyways, so these are the Speedgoat 5s, 6s, 5s. I don't actually know, to be completely honest. I don't know which ones these are. Oh, they're the Speedgoat 5s. It says it on the tongue. So these I bought last year. They have about 325 miles on them, and a whole bunch of sand just came out of them. But as I showed in a previous video, they are pretty flat because I did a lot of sandstone hiking last summer when I went to the Grand Canyon. Or was that the summer? No, Grand Canyon was October. That was technically fall, and it was still very hot. But they are just worn down, and I have not made the switch over to the Speedgoat 6s yet because I'm still trying to just wear down my other Speedgoats, my other 5s that I finished the PCT with, because they're still good enough shoes. There's a couple holes in them. They're pretty cursed. We're working on it. I think I am going to invest in a pair of Speedgoat 6s even though everyone I have talked to says that they do not like them and they've caused many issues for them. So we will see, but they just released a new colorway that I really like. I just really wish I could get through this season without having to buy a new pair of Hokas, because rumor has it the 7s are coming out next year, and I hope that Hoka takes the feedback from the 6s and improves upon them for the 7s. But you just never know, and I have way too many hiking plans for the rest of the year to not get a new pair of trail runners. So with that, I've rambled enough about gear. Like I said, I will have the signs and symptoms of altitude sickness linked below in the description, and I'll also include a link to the 10 essentials. Like I said, what I carry is what I carry. This is what's worked for me in the past, and this is what I feel comfortable carrying right now. Just know that just because what I carry is what I carry, and I've posted this video on the internet, it does not mean that you need to go out and recreate my entire kit. It does not make my kit right. It doesn't make another hikers or creators right or wrong either. You need to do your own research and figure out what works for you. Know your limits. Know when something is beyond your skill level, and honestly, carry what makes you comfortable and what makes you feel safe. That's all I can say. I am not an expert in the field. Like I said, am just out there with what makes me feel comfortable. I will say, before I wrap this up, that I have been hiking as far as 14ers. I have only done class 1 and class 2. This kit is going to completely change once I start pushing into those class 3, class 4. There will be a lot of different gear that I will be carrying, and the pack might look a little bit different. There's going to be many adjustments made, but that is something that I will be dealing with next year. I don't plan on going into any class 3s this year, and kind of just trying to check off a lot of the easier hikes solo this year. I have made friends in the hiking community, but they are further ahead in their pursuit of 14ers than I am. So I'm playing a little bit of catch up and doing sort of the quote unquote easy 14ers. There is no easy 14er, hot take. And then next summer, we have some loose plans to start hitting quite a few class 3s. My friends have already done a number of class 3s. So we will figure that one out as we go. But anyways, this video is long enough. Thank you for sitting through it. Sorry for the different content. If you were hoping for another hike, I'm really, really sorry. Pikes Peak, like I said, I did with a friend. We did the Crag Trail, whatever. It was nothing to write home about. It was rather boring. It was rather uneventful, which is good, I guess. It felt kind of long. It was only 14 miles, but that was the longest 14er I had done. But Pikes is over. I'll drive to the top someday and get the donuts. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, do things. I will get back to hiking eventually, hopefully. It's just a very busy season of my life. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.